The Fed chair, about 24 hours ago, 23 hours ago, the Fed chair, Mr. Powell, made this extraordinary video in which he straightforwardly accused the president of trying to punish him for not doing the president's exact bidding on interest rates. Again, Powell has cut rates 3 times in a row, and the Fed have cut rates 3 times in a row. So it's a little unclear exactly what the president's currently disappointed about. But in any event, lots of reporting today about unhappiness, both public and reportedly behind the scenes, of people for the disclosure that the U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C. is investigating Powell in a criminal manner. Number 10, the Wall Street Journal. First, one thing that people have been saying is surprised that Powell and the Fed have now fighting back so explicitly. Powell's been pretty low key up until now. Here's the Wall Street Journal headline. For years, Powell avoided fighting Trump. That's over. After receiving grand jury subpoenas Friday, Powell spent the weekend deciding how to respond. By Sunday, he had his answer. Number 12, Politico reporting. And I have to say, Politico sometimes hyperbolically reports on the White House and doesn't always seem to have the story exactly right. But they say, quote, freaked out about the bond market. White House reels from Powell probe. The Justice Department investigation into Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell has the White House in damage control mode. Some people are reporting that the Secretary of the Treasury, who in the past reportedly had told the president not to threaten to fire Powell for fear of destabilizing markets, is upset about this latest development. The Treasury Department put out a long statement denying that. Here is Chuck Schumer. Here's Caroline Leavitt today at the White House, saying the president, as he told NBC last night, didn't order the investigation, but he does think Powell is not great at what he does. Number 13, please.
Did the president ever direct DOJ officials to open an investigation into Powell?
No.
And can you reassure the American public that his longstanding criticisms and public comments about Powell had nothing to do with the investigation?
Look, the president has every right to criticize the Fed chair. He has a First Amendment right, just like all of you do. And one thing for sure, the president's made it quite clear, is Jerome Powell is bad at his job. As for whether or not Jerome Powell is a criminal, that's an answer the Department of Justice is going to have to find out, and it looks like they intend to find that out.
All right, I made a little bit of fun of the Politico story, but I will tell you, there are a lot of congressional Republicans, and there are even some people in the administration who are not pleased with this. They think it's going to make Powell dig in. He can't stay past the expiration of his term as Fed chair once the Senate confirms his successor, but he can stay on at the Fed because his term as a board member is not expiring in May. It goes on for many more months after that. And there are people in the administration who think, and Republicans on the Hill, very supportive of the president, who think Powell's just going to dig in now, and they better get a court ruling that he has to go or he will not go. Here is Senator Schumer, number 14, also very unhappy and believes that this is purely political.
Last night, the New York Times reported that a criminal investigation has been opened into Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve Board. Anyone with 2 eyes and half a brain knows exactly what this criminal probe represents: a brazen attempt by Donald Trump to cannibalize the Fed's independence. The allegations behind this probe are clearly bogus. This has nothing to do with building renovations, of all things. It has everything to do with Donald Trump weaponizing the DOJ into his attack dog and bullying America's central bank.
Okay, we can dump out of
into
this.
Submission.
One more element I want to show you. This is, again, Polymarketing the question of Powell's future. Will he be charged by June 30th? Will Powell be charged by June 30th? Polymarket bettors, of course, can wager on just about anything. Will he be federally charged by June 30th? Only a 13% chance, according to Polymarket bettors. 13% chance. That's down over the course of the day and then kind of flatlined since Powell's statement. It was up higher, 9% higher. So only a 13% chance. So let's start there. Elizabeth, do you think Powell will be federally charged?
By June 30th, no, I don't.
No. Steve?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Okay, interesting. What's going on? Elizabeth, what do you think's going on? Do you credit the president and Caroline Leavitt saying the president had nothing to do with this, or not, like Schumer?
I don't think I'll ever agree with Chuck Schumer in my life, but no, I mean, I don't believe he had much to do with it. I think he has made his thoughts on Powell and on everything else. Very, very clear, right? No one is wondering how Donald Trump feels about him and if he would have been supportive of something like this. It doesn't mean, of course, that he had anything to do with it. It's hard for me, genuinely, to listen to Chuck Schumer or anyone on the left talk about weaponization of the DOJ when I lived the last 4 years in this country where the DOJ, I mean, obviously went after Donald Trump, but they went after my own friends and family who I know were completely innocent solely because we worked for Donald Trump. So it's hard for me to listen to much of this. It also kind of feels like a deja vu, which I don't love. And I know that most of the American people who are not as close to this as I am are also kind of sick of this and wondering if it's going to continue, how real it is or how real it is not. I have total faith in Donald Trump, but I know that the average American is wondering, is this going to keep happening in the next administration and the one after that and the one after that? And I hate that for our country. At the same time, I'm not going to get ahead of any investigation, and I want to see what comes out.
Steve, I'm not going to waste my breath or yours by asking you if you agree with Chuck Schumer on this one, but I want to see if you agree with the following person, Alexander Britton Hume, a little while ago on Fox News. Please play that.
Well, I'm not sure this investigation will ever go anywhere. I doubt very seriously that Jerome Powell lied to Congress in any intentional way. He may have been mistaken in something that he said, but I think he's an honorable man and has tried to serve the country honorably. That doesn't mean he's always been right about interest rates, but think about it this way, Brett. Do you think this would be happening? And does anybody think this would be happening, this investigation, if Powell had acquiesced to the president and set interest rates where the president wants? Which is like what every president wants, lower. Presidents always want lower interest rates. It's certainly possible, Brett, that in the sweep of history we'll look back and say, this system with the Federal Reserve having so much control over interest rates was really not ideal. But would it be better if the politicians and the presidents had control of interest rates? And I think there are not many economists you'd find on any side of any aisle that would say that's better. But that's and I think at bottom that's what this dispute is about.
Steve,
Britt is 100% right.
I thought you'd say that.
I mean, I don't know anyone. I know a lot of people in Washington, Mark, of both parties. I don't know anyone that doesn't believe that Chairman Powell is an honorable man, that he is an honest man, and that this is ridiculous. Now, they could disagree with him on interest rates. They could think Donald Trump should have fired him for something else, but this is sort of beyond the pale. It is, and I thought it was quite telling if you read carefully the story about Scott Bessent. Clearly, sources that were deputized by him to go out and distance himself from this. I just think it is, Bill Pulte is a menace. Donald Trump would be better served if he got rid of him. Everything he's tried to drag Trump into so far has not been helpful in any way. And Trump should spend more time listening to Scott Bessent and less time listening to Bill Pulte.
Cozy Earth. Some of you out there have not bought the pants yet. And I wonder, what is it about me that makes you not realize I'm doing you a massive favor by telling you, go to cozyearth.com, use the promo code two-way, get 20% off everything on the site, including the pants. Start the new year off right and give your home the luxury it deserves and make home the best part of your life. Hey, head to cozyearth.com right now. Use the promo code two-way. 20% off everything on the site in the post-purchase survey. Mentioned, you heard about it here on two-way. The man mentioned earlier that the bubble cuddle blanket was stolen by his children. Inevitably, you'll need to buy two. One you'll want for yourself, one for a pet or for a child or a spouse. They'll just take it from you. And that's understandable because it is an outstanding blanket. Bubble cuddle blanket, sheets, towels, shirts, pants, particularly the pants. Go to cozyearth.com right now. Use the promo code two-way for 20% off. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and two-way tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.